All right, everybody, it is 9:30, so I'm going to go ahead and call the Health and Human Services meeting to order. Roll call.
Chair Renahan.
Here.
Vice Chair Swarzy.
Here.
Member Selman.
Here.
Member Chaplin. Member Dessart.
Here.
Member LaPlante.
Here.
Here's member
Here's Member Chaplin. Just say here.
Pulling instead of pushing.
All right, great. We have a quorum. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
So I just like to say I'm very happy today to have the Supervisor of Assessments, Helen Kringle, here today. I know many people on this committee have been very interested in the topic of affordable housing. And so there's been some legislation that's come through, and Helen has become the expert on this, so to speak, and is just going to shine some light on some opportunities that are going on legislatively right now. Secondly, I'd like to remind everyone to support the Care Center Foundation Fall Festival. It's online this year, so you can buy various treats and raffle tickets. And the Care Center has reached out to me specifically asking for maybe a little bit more from the county board in terms of just showing up for the foundation. And oh yeah, and the other thing is, in case you didn't see, some great editorial from the Daily Herald talking about how the county is really committed to the modernization of the Care Center, and it's just, you know, just great to see it being recognized, showing our values, showing up for our seniors and our disabled residents. So it's great. I will take a motion to approve the minutes of August 16th, 2022. A motion and a second. Second, thank you. Any additions or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those pass. I'll take a motion on community service request FIR 35922.
Second.
Appropriation of HUD 2020 continuing care planning grant, $155,478. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments here? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Take a motion FIR 360-22, resolution acceptance appropriation of Illinois Department of Human Services Emergency Service Solutions Grant, $54,445. Motion and second. Questions here? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion on HHSR 361-22, authorization of applications for community development block grant and emergency solutions grant funding for TY22. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Moving to the Care Center. At 7A, I'll take a motion on 2022-77, recommendation for approval of contract purchase order to Lifescan Labs of Illinois for patient body and lab services, September 20th, 2022 to September 19th, 2023, not to exceed 20,000. This is going to be a roll call. Questions, comments, sorry, questions or comments? All right, go ahead, I'm sorry, Karen.
Vice Chair Swarzy.
Aye.
Member Selman.
Aye.
Member Chaplin.
Aye.
Member Dessart.
Aye.
Member LaPlante.
Aye.
Chair Renahan.
Aye. I'll take a motion to combine 7B, C, and D. Those are all discussed and closed. There's a motion and a second. I can do it all in favor on combining. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, those are combined. Now moving to approve, I'll take a motion to approve 7B change order Central DuPage Hospital, decrease and close $10,947.34. At C, Easy Way, decrease and close $18,957.03. And at D, Midwest X-ray, $10,037.62. So a motion and a second. I think this does require a roll call.
Correct.
All right.
Vice Chair Swarzy.
Aye.
Member Selman.
Aye.
Member Chaplin.
Aye.
Member Dessart.
Aye.
Member LaPlante.
Aye.
Chair Renahan.
Aye. That passes. Moving to consent items, I'll take a motion to combine items 8A through J. These are all decrease and close contract expired.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then I will move to approve 8A change order Advocare system Increase and close $147,626.50. 8B, American Bottling Company, decrease and close $29,858.45. 8C, ATC Healthcare, $74,064.25. 8D, CMI, $22,565. 8E, Excel Electric, $78,711.36. 8F, Direct Supply, $17,069.86. 8G, Delta T Group, $74,056.25. 8H, Medline Industries, $10,627.60. 8I, Washboard Machinery, $20,872.17. And 8J, Washboard Machinery, $10,167.53. So any questions on any of these? Did we have a motion? Good motion. Do we have a second?
I don't think we did.
No.
Second.
I'll take a motion and I'll take a second. No questions, then all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved. I'll take a motion to receive and place on file informational item 9A, the GPN 4622 Emergency Solutions Grant PY 22, $54,445 community services. A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll take a motion to receive and place on file informational item 9B, GPN 50-22, giving DuPage staffing grant, $20,000. Motion and second, questions here? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving along. I do not think we have the residency waivers.
No
I
residents.
don't see any, so 11, a DuPage Care Center update, Janelle Chadwick. Janelle? Is anyone from the Care Center? Well, in that case, let's move on to Community Services update, Mary Keith.
Good morning. Just had two brief updates. End of summer, sadly, means lighting season is up and running as of September 1st. I probably shouldn't, I know I should not say this out loud, but we are fully staffed in lighting.
Go knock on that door right
I
now.
know. You might recall last year in October, at one point, we had a total of 2 staff in lighting, and I think there's 9 positions, correct? So the other nice thing about lighting this year is that folks who came in for water bill assistance over the summer were able to carry those applications over into lighting. So the state made that decision twice, which is very helpful. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I think it was during the last, either finance or county board, I believe it was during the finance member, Krajewski mentioned it, that we're having some conversations with some of the food pantries about. So we'll be bringing the specifics forward.
Yeah.
Finance on Tuesday. And that's all I have.
Hey, Janelle, are you there?
Can anybody hear me? This is Anita.
Oh, hi, Anita. Perfect.
Hi,
Go
for
ahead, we can hear you. Thank you.
some reason my unmute button did not work, but I think I'm good now. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start off with some good news. We currently have no units on quarantine. So our last unit came off of quarantine yesterday, so we are all very excited about it. Next, we are on a slightly somber note. We are actively preparing for our annual IDPH survey, as we are in our survey window, so we pretty much expect them at any time. Third, as Chair Renahan said, our annual festival is on Saturday, September 17th. It is virtual again this year. So I hope you've seen all the emails for pre-orders, etc., and will participate and support us again this year. We have for sale apple slices, cake rolls, and a lot of other baked goods. We have several tiers of raffle prizes. So please, we can send you more information, but your support will be appreciated again. Lastly, I wanted to give you a little update on the renovation. We worked actively last week with the team, with the design team. Our focus was really on selecting finishes for the cabinetry, floors, doors, etc. They had a vendor out for us to look at certain samples. So now We have really ordered several sample packages, and we're going to look into that as our meetings progress. So that is also a very exciting time for us. Apart from that, I don't have anything else unless you all have questions.
Member Stark?
Thank you. Hi, Anita. I just wondered that now that the news is getting out that we're investing all of this millions of dollars in the care center, I'm wondering about what the stakeholders are saying, like those who have relatives in the care center. What are they saying? Are they excited about the?
I can tell you the residents are extremely excited. They're very curious about what their rooms are going to look like. They are so excited about it. I think this information is trickling out right now. So we're putting together a message as to what this is going to look like. We're going to put some of the renderings out there. So we'll keep you posted with their feedback.
Good. Yeah, I'm curious about what the families are saying. The families.
Yes, I know for sure. I can tell you the residents, we have kept them, in the loop. They are extremely excited. They are extremely excited. Our staff is very excited. So with specifics, we can keep you posted as this moves along.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, Anita.
Thank
Great
you.
news. All right, without further ado then, I will, Helen, you want to come on up here to address us about affordable
there.
housing property tax credit.
The General Assembly recognized that there's a need for affordable housing in Illinois. And that's the whole purpose behind this legislation that they have passed. Part of this legislation is, I hope you had a chance to look over what I said because it is kind of detailed. Part of this legislation has for entering into 10-year projects with a commitment of at least 15% of the units that are at or below maximum rents. The other part is a 30-year commitment where they maintain at least 20% of the units at or below the maximum rents described. All of these projects must be put into service as of January 1, 2015. Okay, so, and they all must be newly constructed or they not 25 or 25.
Oh,
20 beginning,
okay.
they went back.
Gotcha.
Yes, they did a retroactive, yes. So so anything that was put into service could qualify, going back to 2015. Okay, they all must be 7-unit apartment or 7 units or more. They don't qualify if they're single family or 2 to 4 unit apartment buildings. Like I said, they must be newly constructed or majorly renovated. And the development, make sure, before they have to complete the service. Okay, so it has to be, the construction has to be complete before they can even qualify. So if it takes them several years to build it, they don't get the tax credit until it's completed, or their major renovations have to be completed as well. So in the 10-year projects that maintain at least 15 to 34%, they receive a 25% reduction in their equalized assessed value. For the projects that maintain 35% of the units, they receive a 35% reduction in the equalized assessed value. And then the 30-year projects, which I'm not even sure, I don't even know that there's any in DuPage County that the 30-year projects,
Any with a 30-year commitment?
right, the 30-year commitment.
Well, that wouldn't be anything that we had
Right.
funded, but Ida does often put extended use
Right.
periods in. So
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I don't know. If there are any 30-year.
So, I don't believe there are, but we'll find out if there's any applications. They have to have at least 20% qualifying units, and they have a graduated tax savings. And it starts at 100% of the difference of their base share in the current assessed value. And that's in the beginning, and then it goes all the way down to 20%. So, yes, sure.
I'm not very smart with some of this stuff,
Well,
so just,
you should see what I did to the legislation with highlighters.
well, just even, so you say that, like for the period of 10 years where they're 15%
Right.
have low rent, they'll get a 25% reduction in their assessed value.
Correct.
Does that just mean that their property taxes will be lower based because their assessed
Right.
value is lower?
Right. It doesn't necessarily, it's a reduced value. Of course, the other component of taxes is the tax rate as well. So there, like things like large referendums, could still bump up the assessed value, but then it would still be less than what it was had they not received that exemption or that preferential assessment. Yes.
Is there anything in the legislation that requires those savings to be passed on to the renters?
No.
So how,
That that is not part of it.
is there
Well,
some
but-
tracking to
but
see
there's a
if
certain-
rents
There's a
stabilize?
certain number of units that
That
have
they
to
have
be at
to-
an affordable
Lower.
rate.
Right, they
So
have
there
to-
is-
Has
Right.
to be,
Yes,
and
there-
that's set by whatever this.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Perfect, okay.
Yeah, there have to
Just
be
wanna
a
make
certain
sure we're
number,
not-
Yes.
right, there has to be a certain number of affordable units, but there is no like cash back to the renters,
As
no.
long as they know that there's some
Right.
benefit they're receiving. Cool.
Right,
Thank you.
exactly. All right, this is applicable to all counties in the state of Illinois. The only thing is that if any county with 3 million inhabitants or more chooses not to either initiate one or both of these programs, you must opt out by a majority of the county board. Okay, so that's a decision that needs to be made. And then the other thing is that there can be an application fee as well. And that's another decision that would need to be made. Yes,
Do you have any information on why they chose to opt out, these counties?
I do not. I do not have any information. I actually, this is not even, I'm sure it's not a complete list. It was compiled by a CCAO in, oh, I can't remember what county he's from. I think he's from Adams County, I believe. And he sent it to me and it was the same that he sent me back in June. And I'm like, is there any difference? And there were 2 he had on there that were kind of, he didn't know whether they were opting out or not. I called both of them. One did not. Kane County is, they haven't opted out. They haven't committed. So that's all I can really say about Kane County. And Will County has opted out. So those are what's going on in the Colorado counties. And Lake is not opted out. They actually are working on application.
Thank you.
Sure. Does anybody else have any questions?
Do you want to do any comment on just the fact that Cook County's done a huge rollout on this, right? I mean, because they've
Right.
got tons and tons of
And I watched
apartments,
some of their
right?
PowerPoints.
Yeah, I mean, and
Just to learn.
that's what, I was kind of watching, talking to you and talking to Marion, like basically the issue we face is just there's really a dearth of affordable housing to begin with. So there's not a lot of, companies that can take advantage of this. I mean,
Right.
are you hearing anything policy wise in terms of change or
No,
hearing
not.
anything?
I haven't heard a lot about this legislation except, just through our
Yeah.
conversations with Helen. I think that you are absolutely correct. We don't have that many developments that would currently qualify. And in fact, I know the list that you sent, so a significant number of the affordable housing developments in DuPage County are already exempt from property taxes because
Yes.
they're
Yes.
owned and operated by nonprofit organizations. And so, so you can't reduce from 0.
Right.
They already have a good benefit there.
Right.
They're tax exempt.
All right, good. Well, I just wanted to make sure, we bring up affordable housing so often, and it just seems that we just kind of keep hitting our heads against the wall. So it's good to know what's going out there and, all right.
I will say that I do think that this would be, probably stand. This will be of, a benefit to a for-profit developer who, one of the reasons we don't have as much in DuPage County is the property values are so high that it's just nearly impossible to make the numbers work, to be able to purchase property, construct to code and keep the rents affordable. It's virtually, probably not even just virtually impossible. It's impossible to make those numbers work without subsidy at some point in either in, capital infusion or operating subsidies. So I think anything that reduces that, that financial burden of developing will be helpful. We have had some conversations with there are developers out there who are interested in building in DuPage. It's a matter of finding the right parcel in the right location with the right community support and the right financing layer. So, we'll see how it goes, but certainly anything is better than, I'm pleased to see the legislature at least, you know, putting something substantial out there. 25% reduction in property tax assessment is, you know, that's a significant number, so.
Especially since some of these assessments can be over $1 million or more.
Mhm.
So that can be significant.
Great.
Is,
Well, thank you for coming. Do we have any more questions, anybody?
it just,
I'll just say one more thing. The challenge, though, is this sort of annual certification. That,
Yes.
you know, that there has to be a monitoring that's done. So we're talking to Ida about, you know, if there's Ida tax credits, Ida has to monitor rent levels. If we have home funds in there, we have to monitor rent levels. But I mean, there are a few developments that are out there that don't have any of our home money in it, don't have any Ida money in it. And so in order for them to qualify, there has to be some level of oversight, particularly for those, you know, to make sure that those rent rolls are where they need to be, that the rent levels are where they need to be. So I think that's the most significant challenge, is the annual recertification.
and just a real quick question, is this still in discussion at the state level, or is it?
No,
a
it's
done
not.
deal?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's law.
You have it. Well,
gotcha, thank you.
So we're opted in unless we would specifically
You're
opt out.
Basically, yes, it's a go unless you opt out.
Okay. Watching that certification requirement.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Anybody else questions? All right, well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming in. Let's see, moving on to old business. Does anybody have any old business? Mary, I wanted to call you up for our old business. Can you just give us a bit of an update on the DuPage Foundation?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So we are in the process of, well, we just received applications on Friday for the round of what we're calling the transformational grants. Those are the larger scale grants that we're encouraging organizations to use to really increase the capacity or efficiency or effectiveness of their services. There were 20 organizations that were invited to apply for those funds. That we had a letter of intent process. And then I think there were about 36 or 40 letters of intent. The committee narrowed that down to 20 organizations that we'd like to see a full application from. Those were due on Friday. 20 agencies were invited to apply. There were 2 specifically that reached out to the DuPage Foundation and said that for various reasons, they had decided not to apply for those funds. So we were anticipating 18 applications to be in last Friday. I haven't heard yet from the foundation. I'm assuming that we'll have all 18. We will be, we're going to do our first review as a committee, I think on the 15th. And then in early October, we'll be making decisions about those grants. And then we're talking, we just had a meeting last week with Member Renahan and Joan Olson and the PR team over at the foundation about how we're going to roll out these grants. You know, what we'll do in terms of making sure that this partnership that really gets celebrated. I mean, this is a big deal. We're talking about probably in this round, somewhere between $4 and $5 million. We know from the applications that were invited in, a significant portion, I think the overwhelming majority of that funding is going to be going towards mental health and substance abuse, which we know is just an absolute enormous need in the county. So I'm excited to see the applications. There were some pretty good ideas in there, and we're excited to see where it goes from there.
I had a question, just to kind of share with the committee why an organization might not have been picked up after giving their LOI, because
Sure. Well, I
we
can
all
tell
have
you-
our favorites, and so if our favorite doesn't make it,
Right.
right?
Well, there was one that received, so Edward Elmhurst Hospital merged with North Shore Healthcare in the past year and created an enormous endowment. And so Edward Elmhurst just announced about, I want to say about $2 million worth of grants in the last maybe 6 or 8 weeks. And one of the applications that we invited in had also applied to Edward Elmhurst. So they received the Edward Elmhurst, and so they said, thank you very much. So that need has been funded. There was another application that was very, very large, was $1.5 million. As a committee, we did not feel that we could make that level of commitment to one single organization. And so we asked them if they could apply for a smaller amount, significantly smaller amount, and they declined to come back for the smaller amount.
What was the project?
I prefer not to say.
A building?
No, it would, it
Renovation?
had a number of components to it. It had, off the top of my head, the committee also had some questions about what exactly the project was. Let's put it that way. It was a lot of community and outreach and kind of network building. We had some questions about why 1.5 million was needed for that type of work. It seemed like sort of more of a planning component than actual operational. And so we had questions on that side as well as concerns about the size of the project. The organization said that they were declining to apply for the smaller amount, but they did intend to continue with that sort of, community planning and outreach work. And it would just probably take a little bit longer than if they had received these funding. So I had some, to be honest, we had some questions about it.
The other thing, can you just maybe share with the committee how you think this relationship is working?
I think from the way I've been working with the foundation, I've been really pleased. They are, I think I've said this at the committee before, the community members that they have involved in their grant making process are so impressive. They are absolutely so impressive. Their knowledge, their understanding of kind of social services and the network, the level of detail they put into their analysis. I mean, for folks who are really community volunteers, this is what they do. The amount of time that they put in and the amount of thought that they put in has been extraordinary. Like I'm so happy to have met these people. They're really something else. The foundation staff are responsive. Barb and I have Barb Paniak is the director of programs for the foundation. She and I have a very strong working relationship. We have a very honest and trusting relationship. So, if we're doing something that rubs her the wrong way, or if she's doing something that rubs me the wrong way, we work it out. So I'm really pleased with it. I think we had a great call last week with Mindy, who is Mindy's director of communications, maybe over there, with Joan and Mindy and Member Renhan and Barb and myself. It's kind of ironed out how we like I said, how we want to celebrate this partnership. I think, the first round of grants, it was about 1.2 million. That's a big deal. This second round, this is a really big deal. And we really want to make sure that the foundation is being recognized and celebrated for their work, that the board is being recognized and celebrated for making this commitment. So, I mean, it's certainly not perfect. These are two big organizations with a lot of moving parts. But I'm, from a perspective of getting the funds into the organizations that really need it, I'm very pleased with it.
I am too, but I wanted you to say it. All right, great. Any questions?
That
for
wasn't
Mary?
rehearsed either, so.
No,
You
it's
didn't
not.
know what I
We
was
can
gonna
talk
say.
about it. Anybody questions for Mary regarding foundation or Joan PR at all? No? Okay. All right, great. Any other old business? Do we have any new business? All right, I'll take a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.